Are these your family?
My father came to this country with $14 in his pocket.
What did he do, Mrs. Kirsch?
My father joined the circus. I was always Daddy's little girl. What about you? Are you still his little girl, Beverly? Are you?
It was the highest grossing R-rated horror movie of all time. Will It Chapter 2 beat it? Maybe. It's 3 hours of gross and goodness pleasure. What do the critics say? You're about to find out. It's our half-hour extra butter, all things Derry, because that's the town it's set in, special! That and more coming up in this special edition of Extra Butter, It Chapter 2 style. Hanging out at the special Derry Canal Days Festival Funhouse you could be a part of in Hollywood. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. In the meantime, I got to tell you about this movie. It's nostalgic. It's a coming-of-age movie like the original, and it's not son of a... Hey everybody, it's TV Sean Edwards. What's up, man?
What's up, man?
I'll take a line from the movie. I think I just my pants.
Oh, man. No, come on.
All right, so
I'm
just
not that scary.
moments ago, we saw the movie before anybody else. Thoughts?
Loved it. I was a big fan of the first movie. I
Same.
really liked this movie because I liked the way they combined the younger cast with the older cast, and it made me feel very nostalgic, and I like that feeling when I watch a movie.
Yeah, what's funny, the first movie was kind of a coming-of-age movie, and I thought we were going to let all that go with this one. It kept it and grew it.
No, it was a really nice touch, and it's also really creepy as well, and I like that.
And let's talk about the casting. Talk about the genealogy. Like, it's as though they're cut from the same DNA.
I don't know how they do it, but casting directors, they need their own category because they deserve Oscar love, because what they did with this movie was genius. Like, you actually looked into the younger cast members' eyes and you can see the older cast, and you look into the older cast members' eyes and you can see the younger cast members. It was brilliant casting.
Agreed. The pop-out scares work. After every pop-out scare, there's something ridiculously funny.
It's just a great, you know what? It's a great movie. I'm always fearful of sequels, but by definition, this really isn't a sequel. It's just a continuation of the book.
Right, exactly. Hey, can I ask you a personal question?
What's the personal question?
Is there a stain?
No, you're good, man. Come on, I'm not that scary.
All right. Hey, Sean Edwards, where can we find you online?
Man, you can check me out at fox4kc.com, or you can just go to sedwardskc on all platforms.
Awesome. Thanks for being a part, man. Hey, Jessica Chastain, when we come back, we got Jessica Chastain, we got Bill Hader, and the rest of the cast on Extra Butter. Ah! Yes!
For 27 years, I dreamt of you. I craved you. I've missed you. We need to finish it. For good.
Hey, welcome back to Extra Butter and our half hour dedicated to all things It Chapter 2, and welcome to Derry's Canal Days Festival. When you see this movie, it opens up with a scene at the Canal Festival where a thing and a deal happened that's very, very creepy. I don't want to get into right now. Very dramatic, as you would expect, horror movie open. Hey, look, it's Jessica Chastain's cart that takes her to and fro. Why is it here? Because inside this house featured in the movie, I sat down with she and Jay Ryan, her co-star, to talk about it. Hey, look, it's TV Sean Edwards, everybody. Hey, Sean, come on down. I want to ask you a question, because in the movie they call out the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is the dramatic transformation from young Ben to old Ben, and I thought they handled that so well.
No, they did a brilliant job. I love what casting directors do. Let's give these guys an Oscar, at least a category. They deserve it, man. That was dope what they did.
Let's do it. Best coming-of-age casting young to old in a movie ever. We sat down in the Chinese food restaurant. Did you get a fortune cookie?
I did get a fortune cookie, but my fortune cannot be aired.
Mine just said, take a look. Yeah, should we wait? You guys want to wait till everybody gets here to order?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
What if we just chat till they get here? What do you say?
All right, have some eyeball soup.
Yeah.
What's funny is that I noticed when you walked into the room, you start poking around at that, playing around with your food. Did you guys play on the set when all this bizarre stuff was happening?
You know, that was one of the very first scenes we shot, was the scene at the Jade of the Orient. And it was funny because we hadn't really met each other, and we spent 3 days sitting around the table eating Chinese food, improvising, laughing, drinking fake beer, and then being scared.
And fake shots. So you really see in the film us genuinely getting to know each other and reacting to each other and starting to warm up to each other in that Jade of the Orient scene.
Something I witnessed when I interviewed the youth cast for the first movie is that there's real chemistry. You're all actors, you can fake chemistry all day long, but also people sense when it's really there, and I felt it. Was there real chemistry? Are you guys fast friends?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty tight, pretty close. Jessica hosted a few karaoke nights. Which,
Our first weekend, I was like, we gotta go out, we gotta have dinner, dance, and karaoke.
a few other things.
Yep.
Table tennis.
Oh,
bowling.
spin.
Yeah.
We went to Spin in Toronto, played a little table tennis.
The competitive sport. You know?
We can back up. You can't drop karaoke without me asking the perfunctory, what's your go-to karaoke song?
Forever in Blue Jeans. But also, I do sing You Don't Bring Me Flowers Anymore with Andy Muschietti.
The director. It's a lovely
Yes.
duet they do.
We've
And
been doing it since 2011.
often it would sing through the studios, and you're like, who is that? That's really good. It's the director and Jessica Chastain.
Nice. Is it streaming yet? Is it on iTunes? Can I
Oh, God,
find
no. Thank God.
Give me time. How about you? Go-to karaoke.
You know what? I was the kind of scared kid in the back, like listening. I can't sing very well. I have a very gravelly voice. But when I was a kid, funnily enough, I would take my parents to karaoke night all the time, and I would get up and sing. And I would sing Eye of the Tiger all the time.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, but as an adult, I can't do it.
That's what beer is for. All right. So, Jessica, I wanted to ask you, each of you, about your respective youthful characters, because I'm blown away at how much like his bone structure looks like Jeremy.
I know. I mean, it's really, really, really incredible when you look at all of the adult losers and the young losers, and you can see that Andy, the whole time, he was such a perfectionist about what he was creating, and he wanted to draw in the comparisons, and you can see it, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. You really wanted to match the energy of our counterparts to who we're playing. Also, when I was doing the casting process for this role, the studio were unsure, I was a little unknown, and they asked for photographs of me at the same age as Jeremy in the first movie. And I was like, yes, I've got this in the bag. So I called my mum in New Zealand, and she sent through all my childhood photos to the studio. And it sealed the deal because we actually really looked like each other.
It is phenomenal and beautiful job. I love your counterpart as well.
Oh, thank you.
Anybody want some baby cockroach head?
No,
Here
here you go. Have a cookie.
You're giving away all the props.
Nice, guys.
Amazing. Thanks.
May I keep it?
Yeah, no, keep it.
It's your fortune, man.
So, seeing the two of them together, you might be saying, aha, there's a clue right there as to what happens with their adult characters. Well, maybe you're right. And maybe you're wrong. Maybe there's no clue whatsoever. Maybe it's just where they paired them. You're going to have to find out by seeing the movie. And hey, look, there he goes right now. Hey, it was nice hanging out with you. Good talking to you. See you at the premiere. All right, when we come back from the Derry set of It Chapter 2, guess what? You're going to hang out with the younger cast. Find out where they are now.
Something happens to you when you leave this town. The farther away, the hazier it all gets. With me, I never left. I remember all of it.
From Derry's Canal Days Festival, that is the set of It Chapter 2, where nothing good can happen when you see children's toys abandoned on the streets of Derry. Hey, speaking of nothing good, I've never had a more exhausted interview subject in my life. I love Bill Hader as the day is long. My goodness, I love Barry. I love everything he and the rest of the cast has done. But I'm telling you, they've been talking about it for a long, long time. Take a look.
Kids, we're a little tired.
Can I eat a Wyatt on beef, please? Gentlemen, you've done it.
No.
Was I being too commanding?
No, they're like, can I get white on beef? No. All right.
The further they can get Get that camera back. That's all I'm saying. How are you guys?
Good.
Good, thanks.
All right. Have any of you seen the movie yet?
No.
Yeah.
Wait, so what?
He's
How
the
did
only
you get
one.
to meet that guy?
Bootleg.
Oh, okay.
He bought it off the street.
What'd you think?
It's all right.
It's all right.
He should have waited.
It's
all right.
He's like, I should have waited.
I'm very excited for everyone to see it.
I'm not lying. I mean, there might be people that sometimes blow smoke in these sort of things, but I'm telling you, it's one of the most epic horror movies I've ever seen. And the first one's no slouch. I mean, it's got some big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Are you feeling it?
Yeah, I'm just tired. Just like, I can't feel anything right now. I can't feel anything. But yeah, no, I'm very excited.
Probably tired of talking about it.
I don't know. Yeah, just like, you're in bed going like, I read the book.
Oh my god, I'm afraid.
Oh my god, I read the book.
Oh my god, my childhood fear.
What was he like? Bill was in Pennywise costume. He was fine. I didn't get scared when I.
We'll give you a break for a second. We'll
Okay,
start on
thanks.
this end. Down the road, you met your co-stars in this film, your younger co-stars. Talk about the moment of meeting the younger you.
We had a little
Meet and greet.
carousel
We had a
blind date meet
and Wyatt and him were. He gave Wyatt gave him a lot of notes, and they like had to stare off at each other.
And then Isaiah.
Sure. And then what happened with you?
Well, PJ, tell him what happened to me.
Well, what happened was that Chosen was so polite and
Yes.
giving to Isaiah that
Right.
he just like won him over with compliments, and that like brought up all of his sort of like insecurities he has as an actor, and just sort of like won him over to become putty in his hands. That's what happened. with
PJ
Isaiah.
didn't think that Jack liked him because
At
they
all.
were talking about music, and Jack's like, I don't
But
like that music.
it was
and-
like music that he knew and Jack didn't, so.
You know, I think this has been an exercise. You're just answering each other's questions because you've heard this all damn day.
Yeah.
I get it.
No, but it's nice. It's nice to be able to do that.
No, it's nice to change it up a bit and answer each other's questions.
All right. What's the greatest fear you've ever felt? What's the moment of
Wait,
greatest
yours is
Bears.
Bears.
Okay.
What's the greatest fear I've ever felt?
the most frightened you've ever been in your life?
Grandmother's basement.
Now you're just making stuff up.
No,
that's true.
Really?
That's true. Actually,
We've been asked these a lot.
I got a new one. I was in Chicago. I was visiting my cousins. I went down a railroad track, and this is a new one.
Okay,
And
go ahead.
A man, on a railroad track, chased me with a glass bottle. I actually didn't think about that.
Did he have a pink wig?
And I had to scale like a 15-foot fence, and I was very scared.
That's no subtle thing. That's not like an anecdotal
And then
junkie
it became the
story.
movie
You almost got
Ricochet
kidnapped.
with Denzel Washington.
That's real.
Ricochet.
No, that
It's an
was
honor.
scary.
It's a pleasure, guys.
Oh, Wyatt, sorry, man.
There we are.
Oh, PJ.
I feel for Bill Hader, my goodness gracious. That entire cast has done more interviews. It's one of the most expensive horror movies in the history of the genre. Fortunately, the money well spent. You're going to dig It Chapter 2. Has anybody seen Georgie? Anybody? Georgie, are you here anywhere? Hey, speaking of kids, when we come back, the child stars of It Chapter 2, taking you behind the scenes. If you thought they were amazing in the first one, wait till you see how they've grown and what they're doing now. We'll show them to you as Extra Butter. Our It Chapter 2 special continues.
To the losers.
We made an oath.
Swear? If it isn't dead, if it ever comes back, we'll come back to.
We didn't stop it.
Pennywise.
The clown. We can't let it happen again.
And welcome back to Extra Butter in our half hour on all things It Chapter 2. Oh, look, I'm in a house that you might recognize from the movie When Bev Goes Home. How are you?
Hello, what's your name?
I'm Mark. If you would, tell the people at home who you are.
Well, welcome. I'm Mrs. Kirsch.
No one who dies here ever really dies. But tell me, how is it being back in Derry?
Oh, you look so sweet and creepy all at the same time. No cookies just now, but you know who likes cookies? Kids. Speaking of which, what would this movie be without the kids? I sat down with them. Take a look. This movie's so awesome!
Yes,
It's
it is.
nothing short of a masterpiece.
Thank you.
And the first one's not exactly something to crap on either.
No.
So you
Thank you.
had big shoes to fill with the sequel.
I have never been more flattered.
I mean, it's
Enthusiasm.
exuberant. It's not your first rodeo. You guys have done junkets before. You can usually tell when people are full of BS, but the amount of accolades that are enthusiastic and authentic have to be coming strong today. Am I right?
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So have any of you seen the finished film yet?
No.
All right. You should be asking me questions.
Yeah, all right.
All right. It's awesome.
Okay, go.
When you first met your senior counterpart, talk about that interaction and then seeing the film, what they got right as you.
It was kind of a spitting image, actually. Like, not, I wouldn't say visually yet. When I first met him, it wasn't like, whoa, he looks just so much like me.
He does though, with the eyes and the mouth.
He does pretty much.
Intensity.
They have the same head shape.
I think he looks like Eddie. I don't think he looks like me. I think he looks like Eddie.
All right, good point. Good point.
Okay.
How about you?
Yeah, I think it's uncanny. I think at the beginning, I wasn't like, like obviously we look alike.
But then you look at him a lot. You have a conversation. And you're like, wow.
Once you meet them and you like realize that you're sitting the exact same, and it's just really strange. So yeah, weird. It's uncanny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. No, it was super exciting. Well, because I'm a huge fan of James's work, obviously.
James Ransone?
James McAvoy, Mr. McAvoy, and I hope I look like James McAvoy. But I don't know. Yeah.
How about you?
She looks a lot like me. We kind of have the same nose and the chin, and she's a wonderful actress, so she can kind of act like me on screen.
Right.
I remember watching it, and it kind of did. I don't know what about it, but it did kind of remind me of me when I did it. And everyone else was like, "She acts exactly like you." So yeah.
Having had a chance to direct it and produce some horror movies, it's the best things that happen to me because I appreciate them more, but at the same time, it's the worst thing because I'm not scared by the stuff that's supposed to scare you anymore. Did it revolutionize your thought on the horror genre?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally.
I couldn't watch like any horror movies before I filmed it, but now I'm like a huge fan of them. I watch them all the time.
So it's like a gateway horror movie experience for you,
yeah,
too.
Absolutely.
Pretty much.
All right, so when you guys are the ages of your people, what would you like to have done? What's like some accomplishment you'd like to hit by the time you're their ages?
Ooh. Wow. Oscar, baby.
Well, in what order?
Tray flips.
Tray flips.
Oscar, baby, tray flips.
All right, how about you?
In that order.
Oscar's a great one. Wife.
I don't want a wife, I want a baby, though. That I don't know. I'm kidding. Terrible reputation. Maybe somewhere in Costa Rica.
I just want to be doing what I love. I just hope I'm happy by the time I'm 40.
Happy, yeah. I want to continue.
I just want to be happy.
Yeah, I just wish to keep doing this job. And if I don't continue doing this job, I wish I can continue doing something I love.
And indeed you will. Good to see you guys.
Thank you.
What's exciting is that I've seen the movie and you haven't.
I
Like,
know.
that
You're
rarely
VIP.
happens.
You're VIP.
You call it epic. So it's
You're
like,
VIP.
Yeah.
what,
You guys should be interviewing me.
I
Wanna
know.
what happens?
So what did you think?
Epic.
With that said, how much of the script did you get?
No, we got the whole script. We just
Yeah.
we haven't seen it.
This
Okay.
isn't no end game. It's not that epic.
No, okay, all right. I didn't know if they just gave you pages at a time.
Right.
Yeah, it's not something.
We get the final page tonight.
All right, then what scene are you most looking forward to audiences witnessing that you're in?
Oh man, I'm excited to see.
Let's see a spider scene. Everybody keeps talking. Like,
I have a pretty like cool scene.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can't really tell you. I mean, you saw it.
Yeah. See, it is like in-game. There are plot spoils.
That's true. That's
See?
true. That was an interesting experience. So can't really say anything about it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about.
he has the
That's
scene
pretty
where he
epic.
does the thing with the thing and all that good stuff.
I'm
excited
excited
to
to
see
Yeah,
it.
it was epic, man.
I love it.
I'm excited to see Bill Hader, like honestly, as me, because I haven't seen it. I'm excited to see all the older losers.
So,
their
yeah, well, let's talk
adventures.
about the first time each of you met your middle-aged counterpart.
Yeah.
Very cool. We attempted to do like a speed dating thing where we all met each other and tried to speed date our older versions, but it didn't work out, so we ended up just talking to our older versions, and they're really cool guys, and it's kind of weird being a young actor and they're looking at your role as homework.
Right.
Which is kind of funny because it's like, oh, you guys are amazing. So, really awesome.
Man, if it worked out and Bill Hader was a pretty good snapshot of who you became, how would that be?
I'd be pretty happy, but Bill just got a divorce, so.
Well, you never know. All right, except for all that stuff. How about, do you have any? Your character becomes a stand-up comic, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking that would work out for you.
That would be fun.
That was funny.
I mean, yeah,
You're
I'm
right.
not. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do well as a stand-up, but yeah, doing comedy stuff would be pretty epic.
When you found out Bill was your guy, how'd you feel?
Really happy. I was so happy. I wanted, like, I really, he's one of my big heroes, so I was really excited.
Is there
that
one
he
word
was
that
on.
would describe that moment?
Fun, huh?
I think epic would even be better.
Epic would be better. Yeah.
I love that you're taking over the interview because it all of a sudden it got better.
Yeah,
It started shining. It started popping. Here, ask him a question. Help round out this interview. No, you're on a roll. Give him one.
All right.
Give me an epic question.
Okay, an epic question for you.
Yeah.
So what was it like, your relationship with Andy Bean? How can you describe that?
Andy Bean is the worst. Man.
Yes.
No, Andy Bean is a very good human, and if I turned out to be like him, I would be pretty satisfied. I think I'd want a little more. No,
More?
No, more what? I don't know.
Chest muscles?
Yeah. No, he's great. I mean, he looks scarily like me. Like, you don't really see it at first, but it really gets there. And yeah, I think he's pretty epic and amazing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you are epic and amazing.
Thank
you are
you.
epic and amazing, as are you.
You're epic
Thank you
and
so
amazing.
much.
Thank you. That was good.
Love those kids, what extraordinary lives they've had, and how they'll change after this movie comes out. I'm sure dramatically after the first one. You haven't even touched your tea.
I've had enough, thank you very much.
Why am I drinking the tea? Something's suspect if I'm drinking the tea and you're not drinking the tea.
Could be. Watch out for yourself.
If you've seen the trailer, you've seen a lot of her. And by a lot of her, when she runs past that door in the kitchen, you see a lot. You don't wear a lot of clothes when people aren't around.
That's for me to know and you to find out.
Or just watch the trailer. All right, It Chapter 2 in theaters. It is going to blow you away. It's epic and amazing. Almost as epic and amazing as your cookies.
Please come back and visit anytime.
All right.
Hello.